Welcome back to another retro core, and this time we're going to be taking a look at another arcade joystick. Now, you may remember a couple of weeks ago we did the Sky joystick, which was massive. It was a really big thing and a little bit expensive as well. Well, this is a much smaller joystick. Well, I wouldn't say much smaller, but it is a smaller joystick, and it's meant to pack in more games. So let's open it up and see what we get inside. So I've basically taken my address and everything off the box. This is how it was shipped in its actual box, in the actual packing. So a lot of the artwork came off as I took off the address. Alright, so what do we get on the top? Classic arcade game station. Professional design and reliable quality. Alright, let's hope that's true. Alright, so in the box we get power cable with an earth on it, that's good, and a power brick. That is multi-voltage, and it outputs 12 volts DC at 3 ohm is that, and sensor positive. Actually, what's the input on it? It doesn't really say. Input 90 to 245 volts. That's kind of unusual. Alright. We've got a Japanese US plug adapter here. Don't need that since I do live in Japan anyway. We've got an RGB video cable, probably VGA cable. We've got a USB cable, USB full size to USB full size. HDMI cable, always handy to have some extra HDMI cables. And 2 extra switches, pretty much like the last joystick we got. And yep, they're pretty clicky, nice switches. Alright, and the actual unit itself, let's take a look at that. Ooh, that's a nice one, isn't it? Just look at that design, I like the look of that. Coin insert, start button, pause button, start button for player 2. Yep. Nice buttons. It's got a, yep, definitely a hexagonal gate on that. Or square gate, yeah, hexagonal gate. Feels pretty good. Alright, let's get this out the box and set up on the TV. And here it is sitting on the table, and we actually have a protective coating over the top which will peel off. But I'm not going to take that off just yet. Okay, and there's definitely room enough for 2 people to sit side by side here. It's not too small, perfectly sized in my opinion. Okay, let's take a look around the back of the unit. Let's give it a spin around. Okay, now on the back we can see the various ports. We've got the power on and off switch there, the DC in, the HDMI out, the VGA out, audio out. We've got a volume switch here, and we got a reset and the USB ports. Now what the USB ports allow you to do is connect this up to a PC and use it as a PC joystick, so you can play your favorite emulators on your PC and use this whole unit as a joystick. It may also work on a PlayStation 3 since the last joystick did also, but I can't say for sure. On the bottom of the machine we've got some nice rubber feet, so it's not going to be sliding anywhere. And a speaker grill, so yes, it does have its built-in speaker again. And it is hinged, as you can see right here. Around the front of the machine we have some screws, so let's get those screws open and take a look inside the machine and see what makes this thing tick. Okay, let's open her up. Now I do love the way that opens up on the hinge, very nice. As you can see, the wire work is pretty tidy, it's pretty well put together. There's your little joystick with its gate on. Speaker right there, and the main board right here. Let's take a closer look up at the board. Okay, so here we have a closer look at the board. Right here is where the SD card is, the micro SD card, and that will have all the game ROMs stored onto that. And we got some various other stuff around the board as well. Don't ask me, I haven't got a clue. Maybe that's the memory, who knows. And of course our main CPU is under this heatsink with fan right there. Okay, so let's connect this baby up to the TV, switch it on and see what we get. Okay, so upon powering on the machine, you can see that the front panel actually lights up with LEDs and it changes colors. It looks pretty cool. Now it's unfortunate that only the front part of the panel seems to be illuminated. The back part doesn't seem to be getting any of the LEDs, especially through the actual front bezel. But the back surrounding areas are also glowing. So that is something quite nice. Okay, upon switching on the power to the machine, we're presented with a little splash screen that tells us that this is running Pandora's Box 9S Plus. And it's in 720p. But we're looking at this on a 4K screen, and as you can see, it's not looking too bad on the actual menus. See, the menus are fairly clean. Looks good. I also must point out that this video is being recorded in 30 frames per second, not 60. Okay, so I presume this is going to be like every other machine of this type. So if we press the one player button, we should go to the index page. Yeah, here we go. So we've got fighting games, action games, shooting games, sport games, don't want to play those, puzzle games, a lot. Alright, so there's a lot of different games there. Alright, and hopefully we can, yes, we can select games in alphabetical order. So let's list up all the games beginning with U, only 13 apparently. Here we go, starts at UN Defense Force. Okay, so basically just jumps to that page. Interesting, very interesting. Alright. Okay, so here we go, playing the King of Fighters. Now just look at the filter over the graphics. You can see that, right? That is not very pretty. And it is forced into widescreen by default, which is something I don't like. Okay, let's see how the buttons laid out. Typical Neo Geo arrangements. Okay. So that's going to be annoying for Capcom games. Okay, I'm definitely not a fan of the stretched image. So what I'm going to do is set the TV to display this as 4:3. Okay, let's just fix that. That looks much better now. Actually, I have interest. I wonder what resolution this is actually running in. Yep, according to the TV, it is running in 720p. Alright, let's try this again. Okay, let's reset it out of this game. I presume you just hold down start for a couple of seconds. Nope, just seems to be putting in more credits. Okay, you hold down the coin button for some reason. Alright, let's exit that. Now this is not a Neo Geo game. And so I'm hoping it, I was kind of hoping it didn't have that horrible filter over the graphics, but it seems to have it. Okay, well what I'd also like to know is, are the controls actually configured for the Capcom fighting game? Okay, punch, punch, kick. That is not right. Alright, so yeah, the controls are definitely configured for SNK games. They're not configured for Capcom games, which is kind of annoying. Okay, I found the configuration screen. You press the reset button on the back of the system. Alright. Custom buttons, here we go. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F. Alright, now we've got our Capcom button set up. Lovely stuff. Okay, system config. Quality optimization on or off. Let's switch it off, see if it makes any difference. The blurriness has been switched off. Alright, so that optimization does get rid of the filtering, the screen filter. That's good to know. Ah, but I've just noticed a bit of screen tearing straight away. Ah, right, okay. Wow. And I've just realised I've actually put the controls on backwards. Punches should be up at the top. Oh, what an idiot I am. Okay, so it would seem that the screen filtering option actually eradicates screen tear, because there was a bit of screen tear there. So I guess we should switch it back on. Alright, I've now got my buttons set up correctly as well, finally. Yep, this is working perfectly fine. No screen tearing, perfect speed. We've got the stereo sound. No distortion in the sound, no skipping, anything like that. It's all good. Here we go, Jackie Chan and Jackie Chan 2. Yeah, awful games, but they're not running on SNK hardware or Capcom hardware. So, let's give them a try and see how they play.
Let's start with this now.
May as well go Jackie himself. Oh wow. Seems a bit jerky and slow, but maybe that's just the game. I have no idea. Let's get a special out, come on. Absolutely awful. Alright, let's check out a different game. Irem, okay, Irem hardware. Seems to be running perfectly fine. No idea what I'm doing though. Terrible. Okay, let's take a look at some non-one-on-one fighting games. No problem whatsoever. This is working just as you'd expect it to. Good stuff. I've got to say the controls, the actual joystick and the buttons are quite nice. Not having any issues with them. As I die when I say that. Here's a classic. This is Magic Sword. Let's get into the game. Yeah, it's going fairly well. I can see a little bit of screen juddering, or juddering I should say. It's not too bad. Okay, here's one that didn't work too well on the last joystick system we tried. This is The Simpsons. I wonder if it works well on this system. Oh, I like it. They've used the run where you can actually choose your player instead of just instantly making you go player 1 as Marge. This is working better than the other system straight away. When we tried this on the Sky joystick system, we got a lot of stuttering in the sound. The sound does seem to be missing some channels, mind you, and there is screen tearing. You can definitely see that on the video. Can you see it? But it's perfectly playable. Alright, Mega Twins here. This should work perfectly fine since it's running on Capcom's CPS hardware. And it does. Works lovely. Now this is another one that doesn't I always do that, don't I? I was going to say, this is another one that doesn't emulate too well on certain machines. Yeah, same on this machine. The voice samples are way too loud. So you can hardly hear the music, but the voice samples are really, really loud. Playability wise, not a problem. Alright, next game. Here's an interesting one, The Legend of Silk Road. I don't believe I've actually ever seen this before. Pre-rendered graphics. Okay. There's your special. Okay, that was just an introduction, I guess. That's one thing I love about machines like this. You can find really obscure arcade games which you never knew existed. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're crud. I think this one might be in the latter section. Although, you never know, it might be okay actually. Alright, let's check out a couple of shoot-em-ups.
Let's go.
I've got to say, I do like the music in this game. It's pretty cool. Okay, there's a little bit of stuttering in the background graphics. I can see it, but it's smooth. It's very smooth. It's a Taito classic. This is metal black. Okay, now this one doesn't seem as smooth as R-Type Leo. It's definitely not running at 60 frames a second. Seems to be a little bit juddery. Maybe it's running at 30 frames a second? I'm not sure. I mean, it is playable. Okay, there's air blasters or air busters, depending where you are in the world. A lot of screen tearing there, can you see it? But it is fairly smooth. Okay, now this is interesting. This is a proper vertical scrolling shooter, but it's not stretched to 16:9. So when I've put the TV in 4:3 mode, it's actually too narrow. So I've got to put the TV into normal mode. Alright, which is full. There we go. And now it's in its proper aspect ratio. That's kind of interesting, isn't it? And I'm happy to see that Gumbird 2 works quite well. Alright, let's check out two more classic vertical scrolling shooters. Truxton, in fact let's go with Truxton 2 and good old Raiden. Lovely and smooth, it looks really nice. And I've just noticed that the vertical scrolling shoot maps, well I'm dead, don't have that horrible filter over the graphics. That is a bonus. Okay, here's the granddaddy, this is Raiden, or Raiden. Now is it just me or is that music running too slowly? Take a listen. Yeah, that music is definitely too slow. The game's playing at the correct speed, mind you. Okay, Space Harrier is technically not a 3D game, is it? It's a sprite scaling game. But it moves perfectly fine, not a problem. And unfortunately, it's stretched to hell. So let's fix that by setting the TV to 4:3 mode. And killing myself. Now in the shoot 'em up section there are loads of great games in here. Look, we got XX, we got Mystic Riders, probably a game you've never seen before. We've got Cotton, we've got Battle Gragara, or however you pronounce it. We've got the Donpachi games in there. There are a lot of good shoot 'em ups in here. But I think we've taken a look at quite a lot of shoot 'em ups now, so let's take a look at some different games. Here we go with Chase HQ2, better known as SCI. Right. It's very weird playing this with a joystick. Alright, I've got the hang of it now. That's fire, and that one's break. Alright. Okay, well this seems to be working perfectly fine. No problems here. Now we should have a turbo somewhere. I've used my turbo. There we go. We can't have racing games without a bit of outrun, can we? And I think this is running very badly. Oh my god, just look at that. Why did they even bother to add it? Jeez, what is that? 2 frames a second? Get it off. So there you have it. That is a pretty interesting machine that has 2020 individual arcade games on it. Now if you want to see what those arcade games are, well, you can always pause the video as I scroll through the list of games. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of games. We've got your fighting games, we've got your puzzle games, we've got all the games you could want on there, shoot 'em ups, everything, platformers, they're all on there. Now some games work perfectly fine and some games have a few issues. But for the price of this machine, it's about $150 shipped. You're getting all these games, and most of the Capcom and the SNK stuff works perfectly fine anyway. Then you got all sorts of weird stuff like this thing here, Gridley. What the hell is that? Then you got interesting, side scrollers or vertical scrollers such as this one here, Magical Crystals. It's got some obscure games in there, plus games that you know and truly love. Now, you're probably wondering, does it have Mortal Kombat in it? Everybody always asks me that. Well, let's take a look at the M list and see if we can see any Mortal Kombat. We've got Mario. Yeah. Alright, let's see. Mortal Kombat, yes it does. Mortal Kombat 4, Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 2, and Mortal Kombat. You're probably wondering what they look like running, aren't you? Well, let's kick one up. We'll go with Mortal Kombat 3. Let's see how it looks.
Excellent.
Okay, well straight away I noticed there is no music. And you know why? Because this is the PlayStation version, isn't it?
Fight.
What they've gone and done is put on the PlayStation version of the game. Because as far as I'm aware, there is no Mortal Kombat Trilogy arcade game. Yeah, this seems to be the arcade one. And it runs like crap. Oh yeah. I'm winning though. Unplayable. But it's funny we should talk about having the PlayStation version of Mortal Kombat on here, because it actually has the PlayStation versions of Tekken on here as well. Let's see, Tekken, there we go. Tekken 3, Tekken 2 and Tekken 1. All the PlayStation versions. Don't believe me? Let's start it up and find out. Nope. Let's see if I can pause it. Yep, there you go, you can pause it. It's the PlayStation version. Without any music. At least it runs okay. So, would I recommend buying this machine? Well, you know, if you don't have a PC handy for your emulation needs, then yeah, by all means, go ahead and get one of these. Like I said, not everything is going to work perfectly, but with over 2,000 games on there, you're going to find at least a couple of hundred that really do work well and you really, really like. The construction of it is good. The base is metal. The top is Perspex. The joysticks are fairly responsive. It's a shame that these are solid plastic or not metal, but you know, they do the job. And you can always switch them out for better sticks anyway. The buttons are fairly responsive as well. So yeah, for the price, under $150 shipped, you can't go too far wrong with this thing. As long as you're not looking for perfection, that is. Anyway, I'm going to put a link in the video description down below. If you're interested in buying one of these, check out the link. And I'll see you in the next Made in China when we'll be taking a look at the GPD. Alright, until then, take it easy and keep on gaming. Goodbye.